It's been a while since I last did any league racing, and lately I've been getting the itch to jump back in. That's when I came across the Rangy Art series on Assetto Corsa. Right now they're running these Mini Coopers, and honestly they look like an absolute blast, so I signed up, and that's what we're here for today. It's quite a short, sharp, snappy series with a 10-minute qualifying, 20-minute race, and then a second 20-minute race with a reverse top 10 and double points. Now today we're at Circuit Zolder for round 6 of 9 of the season. Since I'm joining halfway through the championship, it's not like we're going to be fighting for a championship or anything, but that doesn't mean we can't have some fun, so let's get into it. Alright, here we are lining up in P5 on the grid. Not a bad qualifying for our debut here in the series. So let's hope we can get a good start. Yes, if you haven't noticed, I am doing post-commentary because I noticed when watching this footage back that I barely spoke. So that's how we're doing it for this video. And we are away for race 1 here from P5. And it's a decent start. It's not too difficult to start this thing. It's just hold it flat and go once the lights go out. And you can see we're to the inside of Andre Elliott here. On the inside of turn 1, up ahead, the championship leader, Roman K, drives off the end of turn 1 there in a bit of a mistake, so that immediately puts us up into P4 as the leaders in front of us battle away. And we also have a car to our outside there, that's Tommy Corks. So we're going to stay alongside him as we head down into turn 3 now, just leaving him enough space there on the outside, and he does slot back in behind us as we head on to this back straight. So, good start. Didn't lose any spots, in fact we gained a spot. So yeah, a couple of things I'd like to preface while this plays on in the background here is one, if you look at my face, for some reason I found out while looking back at this that I look extremely serious and sometimes very mad when I'm concentrating. I guess that's just what I look like when I'm concentrating. I promise I'm not mad, at least for most of it anyway. You'll see there's a couple of points. But also, the position indicators are just wrong. So up ahead, Fabian Fitness is currently leading the way, but it says he's in 3rd, and then Crowther it says 4th. For myself it says 6th, but that's obviously incorrect. I'm actually currently running in P4. It does eventually go down by 1, but then it's 1 position off still. So when I'm in 6th, it'll say I'm in 7th. The leader, it'll always say is in 2nd. I don't know why it's done that for this. It's done it for both races. Hopefully next time out it's fixed. But yeah, just those couple things to preface. The main one being, yes, I promise, if you look at my face, I'm not mad, I'm concentrating. Okay, getting back to the actual race here. The leaders are squabbling away, and we're all trying to stay nice and close together. We've pulled a little bit of a gap to the guy behind, whereas we actually set the fastest lap there at the end of the first race. Now up ahead, Lee Crowther makes a mistake into turn 1, which means he's going to fall back a couple of positions. You can see Andre gets through on him. We also get through on him, but just based on the positioning of where it is, it allows him to now make a cut back on the exit of turn 2. So he's now on our inside. We have a little bit of a door rub there, which is fine. It's it's racing. That's what happens. But we leave some room for him on the inside, and he leaves us some room on the outside. Very nice, clean racing. Very great there between the both of us. But that is us now up into P3 as Crowther again now looks to our inside, heading into the chicane, but he backs out of it, gives us a little shove for good measure, but it's no problem at all. And that is us now properly through into P3. So yeah, this is going a lot better than I was expecting it to for my first time league racing in, I think it's something like 4 or 5 years. So yeah, going well. You can see we almost get another little bump there, but yeah, it doesn't quite happen. And now I'm just really got to try and ignore the big Mini right there in my mirrors and focus on trying to catch the 2 guys ahead. I don't want to let them get away. They are quite quick. Fabian Fitness up ahead in the lead is on, I believe it's a 5 race win streak, as Crowther big dive up the inside into the hairpin, but I saw he was going a bit deep and just let him go through, and yeah, that's a free position for us as Crowther now tumbles a few positions down. So that relieves a little bit of pressure from us. There's about a half a second to Tommy Hawks behind, and about a half a second to Andre Elliott up ahead. So yeah, that certainly helps us out now as we head on to lap number 3, as we will actually cut forward a little bit here now to lap number 4. We have closed in a little bit on these 2 ahead of us, and you can see the gap behind us has opened a little bit, and now the 2 leaders are going to battle. So this is exactly what I need. I would love for them to wear their tyres out while I sort of just sit here in P3. It'll also allow me to stay with them a bit, because I know our pace is close, but I feel like at this stage of the race they were a little bit quicker than me. So this little tussle between them is certainly working in my favour. As you can see, Fabian decides to pull back in there, and Andre now takes the lead as he goes very tight through that chicane. I would assume Andre got a track cut there. You can see we have a cut warning on our screen there. So far we don't have any. We've got 0 of 3. But if you do get 3, you get a drive-through penalty. So yeah, that can be quite a race killer if you get one of them. So trying to be mindful of that. But in a short, snappy 20-minute race, hopefully we will get away with not having that, as Fabian now into the hairpin on lap number 5 re-overtakes Andre. So these guys squabbling in front of us is really helping us out at this moment. And you can see the gap behind getting a little bit bigger, 1.3 back to Tommy Corks now, and then it's 6.5 seconds to Gray Ward back there in what is P5. Again, it says he's in P6, but for some reason, yeah, everyone is one position lower than they actually are, which results itself at the end of the race. But you can see now, coming on to lap number 7, that would have been quite close to a track cut, I would imagine, but you can see the amazing run we get here on Andre heading down into this second chicane. I have a little look there, but I know I was a bit far back. I didn't want to go for it, but certainly that has shown me a potential overtaking spot for the future, as yeah, if we can get a nice run through there, we can certainly try and make up a place, and that is what we're going to look to do here, this time a lap later on lap number 8. I have noticed not even just the chicane, but I just seem to have the better speed as we head down into the chicane. So we are now nice and close right behind Andre, and we are going to get our nose alongside here and brake a little bit deeper, and Andre doesn't make it overly difficult for us, and we slip through into P2. So a very nice overtake there, and now I've just got to try and keep my eyes forward and focus on Fabian. I don't want to let him run away. As I said, I believe he's on a 5 or so win streak in this series as I've come into it. So he's certainly a force. As behind us, Andre, very late on the brakes. He had it all locked up. I did notice and turn in a bit earlier, just in case he ran up behind me, which unfortunately has compromised my exit. But, you know, it's nothing too bad as we now head into the final chicane lap. And once again, Andre, again gets it all crossed up, and I turn in a bit early again. And you can see behind, that's actually really hurt. He's run through those final couple corners, and Tommy Corks behind us now gets himself up into P3. So those guys squabbling away has relieved a massive amount of pressure from behind, and I can now focus on just trying to chase down Fabian for this race win. Could we win on debut here in the series? That would certainly be, I mean, a surprise to myself, definitely. It's not what I was expecting coming into this, yeah, the gap behind is nice and open here on lap number 9. We do not have a whole lot of time left, though, in this race as we come to the final chicane here at the end of lap number 9. Unfortunately, pushing a bit hard, get on the grass, and that is our first cut warning. It did lose us time, which is quite annoying that it would give us a warning for that. But at the end of the day, we've only got about 4 minutes left, so I'm not overly too worried about track cuts for this race. Just got to be mindful not to get 2 more, as we, yeah, once again get our head down and try and focus on closing in on Fabian. I have, however, noticed that Tommy behind is closing in, so got to be careful of that. As you can see, Andre Ali gets a drive through for cutting there. So yeah, that's unfortunate for him. That's a massive race killer. He'll probably fall a fair bit down the field there due to that. But that's just sort of illustrating the point that I wanted to, yeah, to say before, the cut warnings, they can sneak up on you if you push just that little bit too hard. As we now cut halfway through lap 12, aka the final lap, we have closed in on Fabian. Tommy behind has closed in on us. I'm going to assume maybe Fabian's tyres were a bit worn from that earlier battle, because yeah, over the last couple laps the pace was really good. And so now we find ourselves with only a few corners to go in a 3-way battle for first, second, and third. I'm unfortunately not quite close enough to go for a move here into the hairpin, so I'm just going to try and get as nice an exit as possible. But yeah, unless Fabian makes some sort of mistake here at this final chicane, I think that's going to be all she wrote. I'm also focusing on just making sure Tommy doesn't go for a dive behind as well, as we head into the final braking zone of the race. Not close enough to go for a move on Fabian. Tommy's not quite close enough to get a move on us. So just trying to make sure we get a nice exit out of the final corner, and we do. And it's going to be a second place on debut here. Honestly, not too upset about that. That's gone really well for us for my first time back in league racing. And Fabian does take the win. Tommy P3, and yeah, I'm quite happy with a P2. So let's get ourselves moved on to the second race now. Alright, so lining up in 9th place here for the top 10 reverse grid. Obviously, we finished second, so we start this one in P9. We have Fabian just behind us. We have Tommy just in front of us. And so I guess the goal here is to get towards the front. This race is double points as well, so position is key here as we get a good launch against Gray up ahead. So as we head to turn 1, I only really have the inside to go to because there were people on my outside. We've gone for a big lunge. Honestly, I wasn't expecting to go that deep, but we make it stick. We have Gray on our outside here, which will be the inside for turn 2. So we're going to leave some room to the inside. We cop it hard on the driver's door, which throws us wide. Gray gets ahead, and we have Fabian just trying to stick his nose in there behind us, but he does pull in behind for turn number 3. And so we do hold position ahead of him for now. We have made up 2 spots. We're in P8. Again, the positions are all messed up, but you can see championship leader Roman K just ahead of us there. We're going to look to the inside of the chicane, and we do get the move done as he tucks in behind us on braking as Gray and Connor up ahead. Both have a bit of a moment. Connor goes through the tyre barrier, which gives him a poor run, and that is another free position for us, which puts us into P6. So P9 to P6. Real good start for us. As you see behind us, 3 cars into there, just does not work, and we have a bit of a moment occurring there. Roman K and Fabian Fitness, though, have stayed there, so even though we have a bit of breath of fresh air behind us, we certainly can't rest because those are a couple of very fast guys that will be on us very soon if we don't get a move on. As you can see, some battling happening up ahead between Ezra Simons and Andre Elliott, and we have Gray Ward still just ahead of us in P5. So, yeah, already looking pretty good here in this race, but we'll see what happens as we move forward. You can see we're going to fast forward here through the rest of lap number 1 and through the start of lap number 2 as we slowly close in on Ward just up ahead as we head now through turn 3. Bit of a moment there for the car ahead, so that'll give us the run now as we head down this straight into the chicane. We are right in behind in the slipstream. You can see a bit here, about halfway through the straight, we just start gaining a bit, so I just have a little look, and we are much later on the brakes than Gray. So we're going to go side by side through here, a bit of a door bang, and he gets the better run, unfortunately. So we have to tuck back in behind. As you see in the mirror behind us there, Fabian and Roman having a bit of a battle. So that's good for us. That'll slow down their pursuit of us. Unfortunately, they don't go side by side through the chicane. That would have really helped. But we cut forward another lap now as we head into the chicane. Honestly, this wasn't even meant to be a move. I was just so much later on the brakes. I ended up down the inside. He gets a great crossback on us, though, as we now ends up on our inside. We end up on the curb and the grass a little bit there, and now the cars behind have really caught up. Luckily, they don't get through on us here, but we tuck back in behind Gray in P number 6 as we head into the hairpin there. Unfortunately, there's some dramas behind us, which sends Fabian Fitness into our rear corner, and that spins us out and sends us onto the grass.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, so you can see I wasn't too pleased about that. Now, I learned later, I believe Tommy Corks was sort of the first domino to fall and all that, and he very kindly let everyone back through. So we do find ourselves now in P number 9. Again, positions are wrong. It says we're 10th, but we're actually 9th. Unfortunately, I just completely mess up that chicane, and so Tommy immediately is back on us on our outside, heading down towards turn number 1. But really, all I'm doing now is trying to forget what just happened and focus ahead on trying to make up as many positions as possible. Unfortunate to go from P6 all the way back down to P9 where we started, but hey-ho, that happens. You can see the guys up ahead battling almost 3 wide, so it's certainly not over yet. Still 14 minutes to go in this race, so plenty can still happen as we close in on Fabian, who did make it through on us after that. And yeah, Tommy right behind us. So basically, Fabian, myself, and Tommy have ended up exactly where we were in the last race, just a bit further down the field. So let's see if we can make our way forward. I can't remember if I pointed it out or not, but that did unfortunately give us a track cut warning when we rejoined the track from the grass. Up ahead, there's some dramas between Gray Ward and Heath Langley. That gives them a poor run, so I try to have a little look here, but Heath just about pulls out in front of us to have a look on Gray. I give him a push there, honestly, which actually might help him here in this move. Behind us, Tommy gets it all crossed up behind us, and luckily doesn't hit us. But he does go for an excursion through the gravel trap there, so that frees up a bunch of free air behind us, releases a bunch of pressure, and means I can now focus on the cars ahead. As we look to try and make up some more moves. Once again, battling big time up ahead. Gray and Heath, they now go side by side, and I'm just going to let this play out for you. Yeah, so another couple free positions for us, as those guys have a bit of a coming together. That now puts us into P7, and there is unfortunately now a little bit of a gap to Fabian up ahead, but just like I did last time out in race 1, I'm just going to put my head down and try and close in on him. Honestly, he's a good marker to have in front of you. You can be pretty sure of your pace if you're judging it off of him as we now move forward to the end of lap number 6. Again, the same mistake I made in race 1. That gives us our second track warning there, as you can see. Not too pleased about that. And now with 9.5 minutes to go on this, I am a little bit nervous about potentially getting a drive-through penalty. So yeah, a bit more chaotic so far in this race. I guess that's what happens when you do a reverse top 10. But up ahead, the guys battling is certainly helping us as they all race away. We are closing in. Fabian now has caught up to Hayden Wallace up ahead, and he's actually going to try and put on a move. Hayden goes defensive into turn 2, which allows Fabian to get the cut back here. You can see he gets the better run out of the second corner, and he gets alongside and moves himself now up into P number 5. So those guys squabbling is going to help us close in on Hayden up ahead. As Hayden, not done yet with this fight, he tries to look to the outside of what is going to be the upcoming chicane. Will he try and hold it alongside? Either way, we are going to be able to close in a little bit as they squabble here. And you can see we've got a great run on Hayden out of the chicane there, as we're going to try and pull off the move that we've done a couple of times now so far today. We look to the inside of the chicane. However, unfortunately, the car just a bit unsettled. Me. Yeah, and quite unhappy with myself after that mistake. Just, yeah, locked the rear outside wheel, got it all crossed up, and unfortunately loses a bunch of time. But luckily, a bunch of time is all it is that we lost. We didn't lose any spots because we had actually a decent chunk of clear air behind us, and even more fortunately, really, we didn't take out Hayden, and that would have sucked big time. So luckily, it was only a bit of time lost for myself, which we make up pretty quickly, actually. Here on lap 11, Hayden makes a mistake into lap 1, and we've closed up enough to benefit. We go up the inside of turn 2, and we do pull off the move there. You can see he tucks back in behind, and he will be looking to try and get back through here into turn number 3. He's not quite able to do it, so he stays in behind. Now, as we cut forward a little bit up ahead, Fabian and Roman still battling away. Fabian with a massive lock up into the chicane. He does get it ahead of Roman, and that little squabble has again helped us out. And we still, after these couple incidents we had, honestly, I was quite happy to be in the battle for the podium. Just up ahead there, Ezra Simons is in 3rd place. So this is the train, the battle for P3, as we now head on to lap number 12. Lap 1 up ahead, Fabian runs a little wide, so Roman looking to try and make the move. Fabian goes defensive. Roman looks to the outside, so he's going to try and potentially go for the cutback here. He runs a little bit wide through turn 2, but he still gets the better exit, so he's going to put his nose in on the inside. There's a little bit of contact between the two of them as Roman looks to throw it up the inside of turn 3. No, he backs out and sits back in behind. Either way, this has really helped us out. You can see we are now part of this battle. It is the final lap of the race here as Roman closing in on Fabian up ahead, but he goes a little bit deep on the brakes, goes to the grass, and that'll put him wide out into the gravel trap. And so that is a free position for us. That puts us up into P number 5. So we are now in the highest position we've been all race so far. As up ahead, Fabian looking to potentially get P number 3 off Ezra Simons, who has been doing a very great job, mind you, to hold off this train for basically the whole race. As Fabian right in behind, can we potentially maybe benefit and get ourselves onto the podium? Either way, P5 where we are now is absolutely crazy considering the race that we've had so far. Up ahead, Ezra goes defensive, Fabian goes to the outside, he runs it deep. Unfortunately, I'm not able to benefit because I also run deep into the hairpin. Luckily, we don't slam into Fabian there, but we do pull right in behind. Are we able to maybe have a look into the final chicane? Not quite. Very reminiscent of the end of race 1, actually, right in behind Fabian, but not quite able to make him move. He did go a bit defensive as well, so that was just never really going to work, and that is the end of race number 2 there. And we do finish P5, so honestly, not a bad comeback. I'm quite happy with that, really, considering everything we went through.
Not a bad finish. That was a bit more chaotic, but
Finish 5th in the end. Oof. Alright, and that is all for this video, everyone. Here are the championship standings after that round. Considering I had 0 points having never raced in this before, I now find myself in P28 on 132 points, which honestly, not too bad. But yeah, with only 3 rounds to go left in this championship, I'm not in any sort of championship fight. This is just for fun, and this was certainly fun, and I'm looking forward to the next one, which is at the Nürburgring. So if you guys did enjoy it and want to see more content like this in the future, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.